Hi everybody, I am finally doing the internet access update video I've been promising for months. So I apologize for it taking this long, but life just gets in the way sometimes. So here we're going to go. I've made a lot of changes to my internet setup, even in the last month. So when I first started this RV journey with my wife Shelly and Talon, we went with the visible phone as our internet source. This is the guy right here. Paid $19 for it from the Visible website, and we pay $25 a month for unlimited, uncapped, and no contract data with this guy. $25 a month. How we pay $25 a month is because if you go to their website, it's going to say, well, it's $40 a month. Well, that's true. It's $40 a month unless you're on a party plan. Now, the party plan works just like the old party line phones. So you can have up to 4 people on your party, and each person in the party gets their own bill. You don't even need to know who they are. You don't see their stuff. They don't see your stuff. So we did that, and we have 3 other people in our party. So we have a full party, which gives us $25 a month. So I highly recommend the party plan. If you're not sure about the party plan or how to get it set up, you can create your own party plan or you can join somebody else's party. Either way. Now what we did was through a friend of ours, he told us about this. If you go to Reddit or just Google Visible Party Plan Reddit, then you will go to the Reddit page that has people posting their own party plan links to join, or you can post your own as well. So again, you can either click on a link there to join somebody else's party, or you can have other people join your party. It's your choice. That's the Visible phone. Now, there's a couple of caveats with the Visible phone, so you need to pay attention. Number one is it only works on Verizon 4G towers. It does not work on any other towers. It doesn't do 3G, no roaming. So 4G towers only. So if you're in an area that has poor Verizon signal, well, most likely this isn't going to work either because it is a Verizon phone. Visible is owned by Verizon, so it uses all Verizon towers and equipment. As long as you're in a good Verizon signal area, this should work well. We have gotten speeds up to 30 megabytes down, and I think best we've done upload speeds is 15 or 20 megabytes. Very happy with those. The other thing with the Visible phone is you can only have one connection to its hotspot at a time. So how can you have Wi-Fi in your whole RV if this thing only lets you do one connection? Well, the answer is easy. You get a travel router. And what I've been recommending now since we started this YouTube channel is the TP-Link AC750 travel router. And I think this thing goes for about 40 bucks on Amazon. There is a link to this in the description below. And there's going to be links to everything you see here today. So you can get this online. If you click on the link below, it's our Amazon affiliate link. So we'll make $1 or so on it. It doesn't cost you any extra. So if you want to click on the link, we'd appreciate it. This thing works great. The nice thing about the travel router too is that it's very compact and it just needs USB for power. And this can do multiple sources of internet. Now this is just a router. It's not a hotspot. You don't put a SIM card in it. It's just a router. You can connect this if you happen to be in one of the mythical campgrounds that has good internet access. You can use this device to connect to your campground Wi-Fi, and then everything else, all of your devices, connect directly to this. Now you want to have a router anyway, and that's another reason why I recommend the AC750 travel router, because it is so small. But the router provides you with some firewall protection from the outside world, and you never want to connect your devices to free public Wi-Fi without some sort of firewall and other protection, because anybody can get to your device. Then you're just exposed out there to the internet. So this router helps keep you safe from that. So for our situation, our setup here, what we have is we have 4 televisions, a Amazon Fire Stick, and we have 2 computers, a couple of Amazon personal assistant devices. I don't want to say their name or they'll reply to me right now. And they all connect to the Wi-Fi network that this travel router makes. So then whenever we get to wherever we need to go, if they have good Wi-Fi at the campground, we just connect this to that campground Wi-Fi, and then automatically all of our devices are connected. So we don't have to go through the process of connecting each and every device. And this also works good in campgrounds, which limit you to how many devices you can connect. Going down the road normally, this will always be connected to our visible phone. And that way we have internet going down the road, no problem. Works great, as long as, again, we're in a good Verizon 4G area. So not every place has good Verizon 4G cell coverage. Some places AT&T is better. Some places even Sprint is better. If you really need internet, and I say need/want internet constantly in your RV, you need to have multiple sources. We've settled with, for our secondary source, is Gypsy Wireless. Now Gypsy Wireless is a reseller of AT&T service. So they're the same as Nomad Internet, Bix Wireless. They're all doing the same thing. They're all just reselling the AT&T service. They're not, so one isn't better than the other one from a technology standpoint. They're all selling the same technology. So they're not, one's not better than the other when it comes to speed or anything like that. Now, a lot of people tell you that this service is better than that service. Now the only way they're different is through their own customer service. I have had no experience with any of the customer service from any of these companies, so I can't speak to them. I did try Bix Wireless for a couple of months, and I was paying $85 a month. I know it's a lot more than the $25 we're paying for Visible. Paying $85 a month for 100 gig of data. They have other plans, $100 a month for 400 gig and $189 a month for 800 gigabytes of data. We switched over from them to Gypsy Wireless, and Gypsy Wireless is unlimited, unmetered, uncapped, and it's $75 a month. And it was real easy to set up. Now with Bix Wireless, I bought this Cradle Point IBR 600C router. We're going to talk about this. I love this. This thing is great. So I bought that from Bix Wireless because I needed to have something to put the SIM card in. And oddly enough, this Cradle Point router is no longer being sold on the Bix Wireless website as I just looked through it. But you can buy it through Amazon, and it doesn't matter where you buy it from. These devices aren't specific to any particular manufacturer or carrier. You do need to make sure that whatever device you purchase will work with that carrier, though, but they're not sold by the carrier. In other words, this particular Cradle Point will work on with AT&T SIM cards, Verizon, I believe T-Mobile, and Sprint as well. So it works on all the major carriers. Okay, so let's talk about this Cradle Point router. Again, it's the IBR 600C-150M-D router with Wi-Fi. Now, one drawback to this, it only has 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. It doesn't have the 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. So no matter what your internet source is, your Wi-Fi speeds are not going to be any greater than around 30 megabytes up or down. And that's a limitation of the 2.4 gigahertz bandwidth. And I went ahead and went with it anyway because most of your cellular data isn't going to be much better than the 30 gigabit anyway. So it's $600. Yes, I said $600. So it's not a cheap router, but it replaces this, and for all practical purposes, it replaces this. Now, I can't take the SIM out of the visible phone and put it into the hotspot device because the SIM won't work that way. There might be some hacks out there to let you do that, but this isn't a video talking about hacks, so we're going to let that one go. But the Cradle Point right here behind this little door has 2 SIM card slots, and right now I have 2 SIMs in it because I still have the Bix Wireless because I haven't canceled that service yet, and I also have the new Gypsy Wireless SIM card I put in there. Now the great thing about the Gypsy Wireless, it was pretty easy to do. All you had to do was go to like Best Buy or anywhere really that sells AT&T SIM card. So I went to Best Buy, spent $10 on a AT&T prepaid SIM card. Doesn't matter if it's prepaid or not, it could be any AT&T SIM card. I went to the Gypsy Wireless website, signed up for it, gave them the information they needed. I did it on a Sunday, so they don't do activations over the weekend. By lunchtime, 10, 11 o'clock or so on Monday morning, my service was activated. And they usually say if you put in your order during business hours, it takes about an hour. We got that real quick and easy setup. Didn't have to have anything shipped to me since I already had the Cradle Point. Now I could have bought a MiFi device from them, but I already have one that I really like, so no reason to buy another one. Again, this Cradle Point device works great because it has 2 SIM cards, like I said, in the slot right here. If you happen to be permanent somewhere, or mostly permanent, and you're going to have hardwired cable connection for your Wi-Fi. You can also use this router for that as well. You can just plug that right in here. It also has a hardwired plug here if you need to plug in any devices that don't have a Wi-Fi enabled. You can plug that in here as well. It also has a USB port where you can plug in a hard drive, and then that hard drive can be accessible through anybody connected on your internal network. Real easy to set up, but the reason I picked this, because of everything else it can do, this can also connect to campground Wi-Fi, just like the AC750. But what this will do for me is I can connect to campground Wi-Fi, or I can connect to the Wi-Fi on this visible phone, what I do now actually. In addition to the 2 SIM cards here, they can all be connected to the different internet sources, and it's my choice. I can configure this router to either use all of those sources together combined, or I can use it to prioritize which one it wants to use. If I have one that has limited data, for instance, I could set a cap on that. Once this thing reaches, say, 100 gigabytes of data in a month, it shuts off, then it goes to the other 2. Or if one is faster than the other one, it'll just change, without me doing anything, it'll change the internet source to whichever one's the best. So I don't have to worry about trying to figure out which one's the best and fool around with it. I can just go and do what I want to do on my computer. The router will take care of telling me which one is the best as far as the internet connection sources go. So that's the one thing I like about this. It's not hard to program. There's videos out there on it. We're probably going to do a video on programming this thing, but of course I understand $600 is a lot of money. For what you get for it, especially if you're full-timing and you need or want internet really badly, I highly recommend this guy right here. Now, one thing we're not going to talk about today, but it's going to be the subject of a future video, is cellular boosters. Because we really want to see what's the best one out there for the money. Because again, if you watch our channel for a while, you know that we try to do things as economically as possible. The Cradle Point does, all those things we need to do, but there's one more thing out there that I have, and I've teased a lot about it, but I really haven't discussed it. So a lot of people have also asked me, what about Wi-Fi extenders? What about cellular boosters? As far as cellular boosters go, we are working on putting a video together to talk about cellular boosters, but for a Wi-Fi booster, this is something I've been using for about 3 years now, and I came across it from a video from David Bott. And if you don't follow David Bott, he does a lot of great technical videos. I highly recommend him. And on that note too, I found out about Visible from Mark over at Grand Adventure, another awesome channel. Go check both Grand Adventure and David Bott out. But what I use for my Wi-Fi booster extender is the Ingenious ENS202EXT, and you're going to see right now what it looks like from the Amazon page, and then you're going to see what it looks like attached to my roof. So it is a high-powered access point, pretty easy to configure. Again, this one only works on the 2.4 gigahertz range, so just like my Cradle Point router, it doesn't do the 5G Wi-Fi. Now don't get confused when I say 5G Wi-Fi. I'm not talking about like 5G, 4G for cellular phones. I'm talking about the 2.4 gigahertz and the 5 gigahertz band for Wi-Fi networks. So they're two different things, so don't get them confused. The 5G for cell phones and the 5G for Wi-Fi are two different things, because the 5G, when it comes in relation to cell phones, it stands for 5th generation. 5G, when we're talking about Wi-Fi, stands for 5 gigahertz. So the Ingenious does have a 5 gigahertz model out now, but what I bought and probably still would recommend is the ENS202EXT. It's only at $89. I have it mounted to the roof. Mounting this thing was easy. I just zip tied it to my air conditioner, and on our previous RV, that's exactly what I did as well. Just a couple of zip ties on the air conditioner, is done. Or you can mount it on your ladder. I had done that before too. It's not wireless, so you need to run a cable down, and what I got was a flat Cat 5 cable. We'll have a link to that in the description below too. And with the flat, I just ran it through one of my slides. Now where our media cabinet is right next to the slide opening, so I just ran it through there, drilled a hole in the side of the media cabinet, and that was it. Done. You plug it right into your router and you access it through a web interface, and we're going to show you the web interface here real quick. And as you can see from the web interface, it gives you a few options. Now the one thing about this basically is a Wi-Fi Ranger with a less user-friendly interface and a lot cheaper. So I'm currently not using this right now. I'll have a separate video out on just setting this thing up from scratch. But for the highlights for now, once you have it set up how you want it, all you have to do once you arrive at a location and you need to get to a wireless access point and you're kind of far away, here under wireless, the wireless advanced settings, you can set your distance. And this is how far this thing will find a signal. And you can go anywhere from 1 kilometer, a little more than half a mile, to 30 kilometers or 18.6 miles. Now, are you going to get a super great signal that's fast? If you're pulling one from 18 miles away, no, absolutely not. So I usually keep this on 1 or 2 kilometers, and that's just keeping the power level down. Now to set this thing up on to connect to a wireless network, I would just click here and go to Site Survey. It's going to take a while to scan, and once it's done scanning, it shows we have a lot of access points. So for the signal level, the smaller the number, the better, and it's separated by ones that have passwords, which under security you'll see whatever security be, WPA or whatever, and then the open ones. Theoretically, I can connect to any of these guys. Just for fun, we'll click on this Orlando Wi-Fi, which I know doesn't work. It was the campground Wi-Fi, but they don't have campground Wi-Fi anymore. If there was a password for this, then this box right down here would have had this mode automatically selected as well with the box where you type in the password. You just click accept. Now here's the hard part that people got to remember. You have to save and apply the changes. So here are the changes we're going to make. So we're going to save and apply. So basically what that does is that reboots the router. So that's going to take a while. But that's my Wi-Fi extender that I use. But I need to get good Wi-Fi. I don't really use this much at all anymore because we're using both Visible and the Gypsy Wireless, both unlimited. So to recap it all, I need a cellular booster because where we're at right now, we have pretty low Verizon and AT&T signals, and where we were previously, we were in the same boat. If you want to have good continuous internet, you need to have 2 sources from 2 different carriers. For where we travel mostly, that's going to be AT&T and Verizon, and you're going to need a booster more than likely too, depending on where you're at, and that's really it. So to make it simple, 1 device. Yes, it's $600, but you can connect everything to this. So what we've done, we've got our 2 SIM cards in here. The nice thing too about this is because the antennas are removable, you can actually get an antenna put on the roof and then run a cable down to this. Number 1 source, Visible phone, $25 a month. Number 2 source, Gypsy Wireless, $75 a month, unlimited, uncapped. All in, $100 a month for 2 different sources of internet that this router will automatically switch between, or if you happen to have a Wi-Fi, good Wi-Fi in your campground, it will switch between those as well. If you want to use your phone as a hotspot occasionally, you can set that up in this Cradle Point router as well. So when you turn on your phone hotspot, it'll recognize it, and if it's the best source, it'll automatically use that for all your devices. And you can set those up and leave it set up. You don't have to mess with it. You just set it and forget it. So that's it. If you have any questions about my internet setup here or my recommendations, either leave them in the comments below, shoot us an email, or give us a phone call even. All that information is in the description below. We have links to all these products below as well. And I'll tell you, I'm very happy with all of these products. Is there a perfect solution? Absolutely not. But this is the best solution I found for us that is inexpensive. I know a lot of people out there are pushing a lot of different services, but they cost more money for the exact same thing. Like I said, Gypsy Wireless, Bix Wireless, Nomad Internet, and I know there's a bunch of others. They're all selling the exact same AT&T service. So one doesn't provide better signals than the other, or faster service, or any of that. So it's just a matter of how much do you want to pay for it, and if you want unlimited, uncapped, or limited and capped. We tried Bix, it was limited and capped. We did run into the cap, and we're working with Gypsy Wireless now. It's unlimited, uncapped, and cheaper. So you can't beat that. Again, if you have any questions about any of this stuff, leave us a note in the comments. If you have any experience with any of this stuff, good or bad, leave us a note in the comments as well. If you have a better idea, notes in the comments as well too, please. I'm always out looking for a better idea. I found out about Gypsy Wireless from a friend. I found out about Gypsy Wireless from a friend. So I'm not the all-knowing, all-seeing person, but I listen to people and I follow advice and I do my research. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like seeing these videos and you want to see more, give us a thumbs up. Give us a good note in the comments below as well. We're working real hard to not only provide you with good technology reviews and insight, but also on our travels as we get out and visit this great country. So thank you guys for watching. If you see a vet, please thank them for their service. We'll see you down the road at our next adventure.